So tonight I thought that I would paint a landscape using this 2-inch hake brush on Rives BFK etching paper. And I thought I'd do this hake brush landscape along the lines of another YouTuber out there called Lois Davidson. So I'd just like to give a shout out to her channel. She just paints some really lovely landscapes, nice and loose. So I'll put a link to her channel down in the description if you really want to go and check out. She has some really great lessons in there, and is really also really great at doing details around trees and buildings and that sort of thing. So go and check that out if that you know, floats your boat. Then go and check that out. So yeah, she's great, really lovely artist based in the UK, and yeah, you should go check that out. So this is going to be a hake brush landscape on Rives BFK, warms and cools, and we'll see how that goes. So most of the time if I'm painting warms and cools, I'll just bring in warms first, okay? So we're just gonna get a bit of yellow ochre in here, and we're gonna get a bit of yellow ochre in here, and maybe down into here. Get a bit more up in here. Nice. And of course you could use a bit of raw umber as well. Like, let's grab a bit of raw umber so you can sort of see what that looks like. A bit more earthy, a bit darker, but still a beautiful, beautiful bit of tone to it. Let's just get a little bit of that. Yeah. Now, let's see if we can paint this painting without drying it, okay? So now I'm just going to bring in a bit of cobalt blue. So we'll just bring in some cobalt blue. Some will go over, some go around. Just bring this in. Down into here. Grab a different brush for a second, because I want to, it's just a little 1-inch hake brush. I just want to bring in a little bit more yellow ochre in here as we go. Hopefully you guys are getting on. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Right. And now what we're going to do, we'll just bring in a bit in here too. Then we'll just bring in a bit of this mix of cobalt blue and light red, eh? Let's just, this mix of cobalt blue and light red is very beautiful. Beautiful. Alright, so I'm going to pick a few of these hairs out because I'm using my old favourite hake brush, but it really does moult a bit. It's like an old dog. Alright, so we'll try bringing in a bit of landscape here, bit of So we're bringing a mix of Winsor blue red shade and light red and a bit of Paynes grey into here. And then we'll just probably have to wait for it to dry a bit more. But I suppose what I'm trying to do is just create. Yeah, I'm going to have to wait for this to dry a bit because I want a bit of dry brushing occurring here. I was going to try and do a landscape without drying it with a hairdryer, but that is pretty difficult to do. So let's just get this a bit. We'll just come in here like this a bit. So lifting it out with a damp, washed out hake brush just to give a bit of light there. Alright, let's just dry this for a second. So the cool thing is when you're doing some warms first and then you bring in some cools over the top and then some greys in over the top of that, you create these layers without actually having to do a layer dry it, and it starts to look, a little bit more complex, I suppose. And I was just looking at this while it was drying, and it reminded me of that Turner painting of the floating of the Tamarera. Like, it's just, that painting is just a beautiful painting. And not that I would compare myself to Turner in any way, shape or form. His paintings are phenomenal, but still it just reminded me of that. And it's quite a cool effect really, with the warms and cools and the bit of landmass coming in here. And to be honest, I would almost be happy just leaving this like this. I really love obscurity and abstract landscapes and things, but we'll go further with this and see where we get to. So what I might just do with these land masses, I'm going to put in a bit of this tape here, this 3M Magic removable tape, and we'll just put some in. I need that there. Just for that. Just for right there. It's the only bit I really need. Right, so I'm going to put in this landmass quite roughly. Is my plan. To not make it look too Right, I'm resorting to my sable because it's just going to struggle a bit. Alright, let's dry this. Alright, to just finish this off, I'm just going to do a bit of scraping back, as I always seem to do when I'm doing seascapes and things. I just Alright, so thanks for joining me tonight in this watercolour landscape. It's really with warms and cools, and with mostly done with this 2-inch hake brush here, which I definitely won't drop onto the page right now. It's loaded with Paynes grey, and from a distance I actually really love this painting. You know, for some reason it just really works. So thanks for joining me, and like I said before, if you want to check out Lois Davidson's channel, then it's in the link below, and she has some great paintings to do with painting with a hake brush. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video. Good night.